In the year 2090, a deafening quiet fell across the Earth. It wasn't the silence of peace, but of absence. This was the year of the Great Silence, the year humanity faced the final pandemic, a virus that our most advanced science couldn't cure. Welcome to Future Archives. Today, we journey into a chilling, unwritten chapter of human history, a scientifically grounded analysis of the collapse that began in 2085 and culminated in the end of the world as we knew it. This is a necessary warning, a glimpse into a future we must strive to avoid, detailing the catastrophic failures that brought our civilization to its knees. The pathogen that triggered the Great Silence was unlike anything seen before. It wasn't just another coronavirus or influenza strain. This virus, designated Morpheus, combined the silent, asymptomatic spread of the most insidious diseases with an unprecedented resistance to every antiviral in our arsenal. It moved through populations like a ghost, leaving devastation in its wake before the first symptom even appeared. For decades, humanity had prided itself on its technological prowess, its ability to conquer nature. But against Morpheus, our most advanced medical systems, the pride of the 21st century, were rendered useless almost overnight. It didn't just infect people, it infected our entire system, exposing the fatal hubris at the heart of our interconnected world. We will now explore the three catastrophic stages of this collapse, a timeline of failure that sealed our fate. The first stage was origin and denial. For the first year, as the virus began its silent march across the globe, the world was trapped in a state of deadly indecision. The debate over its origin consumed precious time. Was it an unintended consequence of bioengineering, a weapon leaked from a rogue lab? Or was it an ancient horror, a primordial pathogen released from the melting Arctic permafrost, a final lethal consequence of climate change? While scientists argued, politicians engaged in denial. The lessons of past pandemics were ignored. Early warnings were dismissed as alarmism. Instead of a unified, global quarantine, we saw nationalism and political posturing. Borders were closed too late. Misinformation, amplified by social algorithms, spread faster than the virus itself. This initial failure to act decisively, to put global health above political gain, was our first and most critical mistake. It didn't just cost millions of lives, it guaranteed the failure of every subsequent effort. It was the moment we lost control, even before we knew the fight had truly begun. The second stage of the collapse was defined by the failure of our greatest creation, artificial intelligence. By the 2080s, global health was managed by sophisticated AI systems designed to rapidly develop vaccines and antiviral agents. They had successfully thwarted dozens of outbreaks in previous decades. We put our faith in these systems, believing them to be infallible, but Morpheus was different. Its genetic structure was so complex, so mutable, that the AI models couldn't keep pace. For months, the AI-driven counteragent systems ran trillions of simulations, only to fail again and again. The day the Global Health Network announced that the AI had officially failed to synthesize a cure was the day hope died. Mass panic erupted on a scale never before witnessed. The automated supply chains that fed our cities ground to a halt. The intricate web of logistics, managed entirely by machines, simply broke. Riots, chaos, and the collapse of infrastructure followed. The last, futile attempts to create sealed quarantine zones, walled-off cities for the uninfected, descended into violence and despair. In a dark, tragic irony, the very technology designed to save humanity proved powerless. Our tools couldn't save us from our own biological fragility. We had built a world so complex that we could no longer manage it when its digital brain failed. By the year 2090, we entered the third and final stage, the world that remained. The Great Silence was complete, the hum of global civilization ceased. Megacities became concrete tombs, monuments to a fallen species. But humanity, in its tenacious, stubborn way, did not entirely vanish. Small pockets of survivors endured. Who were they? Mostly, They were the isolated, the forgotten. Communities in remote mountain valleys, inhabitants of distant islands, and prepper groups who had long anticipated a collapse. They were people who lived outside the hyper-connected world and, by a twist of fate, were spared from its downfall. These survivor pockets began the arduous task of rebuilding, not with the tools of the old world, but with the knowledge of the past. Without global connectivity, without automated industry, they returned to the fundamentals: agriculture, community governance, and shared defense. They scavenged the ruins of the old world for tools and knowledge, but were forced to create a new society from scratch. The pillars of modern government, finance, and global trade were gone forever. The existential question that hangs over this new world is stark: can humanity truly recover? Can a species that once touched the stars learn to live on the ground again? Or is this just a final, fleeting echo before the silence becomes permanent? The story of the Great Silence is not a prophecy, but a cautionary tale. It's a stark reminder of the delicate balance upon which our modern world rests. It highlights the dangers of political division in the face of a global threat, the over-reliance on technology without an understanding of its limits, and the catastrophic potential of ignoring the natural world we have so profoundly altered. The ghosts of 2090 whisper a warning to us from the future. Our greatest strengths, our connectivity, our technology, our ambition can, in an instant, become our most fatal weaknesses. The final pandemic wasn't just a biological event. It was a failure of wisdom, a failure of unity, and a failure of foresight. Let us hope we have the wisdom to listen to their warning before we are forced to live it. Thank you for joining us at Future Archives. If you find these explorations into our potential futures valuable, consider subscribing to our channel.